You are watching part 2 of our conversation with Jeff Martin, CEO of the NIADA. To catch up on part 1, just click on this little card right here. It'll take you straight there. All right, let's get on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Everyone Hates Car Salesman podcast. My name is... Don't interrupt me.
Welcome.
Don't. Hi, Shawn.
That's what they want to hear.
Why don't you say hello? Say hello. Everybody wants to hear you. Say hello.
Hi, my name's Shawn. That's my friend and partner, Ina.
Hi, that's me.
What up?
What up? So this is kind of new for people who have been listening to the podcast to kind of hear my voice over here. So yeah, you're gonna see me. Like I like my role in here. I'm kind of putting in the questions in the interview, kind of moderating everything. But like I just let the goat be the goat. Like
you're mothering.
No, don't you dare put me in that box. No.
You're mothering. No, you do fine. You keep me in line. You keep me together. It's amazing how good you are at it, actually.
Nobody can tame you. You're like the goat.
No, but you know what? I will tell you this though. You know what I like about this podcast is that it's a challenge for me because I have so many things that I want to spit out and just blurt out, but I can't. Like, because I don't want to get kicked off the internet. You know what I mean? So like, there's so many things that come into my head that I'm like, da, 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 and I'm like, you can't say that. You know what I mean?
But I feel like this is the space to do that. Like these intros, like I want people to like see the real goat. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it. No, you're right. Right. I just, if I said what was really going on in here, I mean, I don't want to go to jail.
I don't necessarily want you to spit those things out when we're on a call with the CEO of the NIADA.
I almost did.
Right? Like, no,
yeah.
Like, that's what this space is for. You got to save it all for the intro.
Yeah, no, I tamed it down a little bit, but no, yeah, Jeff is awesome. I mean, he's an amazing leader. He's an amazing culture creator within his association for sure, but even internally, but members wise, you can tell that he just fosters a culture of community and empathy and intelligent strategic thinking. I mean, he's just an impressive guy.
Yeah, no, and he's just such a nice guy. Like that's the first thing that I know.
He's really nice. Yeah,
he's just like a nice guy, like somebody you can talk to, somebody you can just like say anything to, and he's just gonna roll with it, right?
Yeah.
So we are interviewing like right here on the podcast Jeff Martin from the NIADA. He's the CEO of the NIADA, and the most exciting thing that is happening next month is their conference in Vegas, to which
Vegas, baby,
we are going.
Yeah, we're going.
Gonna be there.
We're going.
So everybody,
we're going.
You know, people are just gonna come and see me, right? Like just see, like match the accent to the face. I
would come and see you if I heard that accent. I'd be like, "Where's that girl?"
Exactly. If anybody goes, but no, I know my role in this situation. You are the celebrity here. You are the one that people want to see.
I don't know. All I know is that everybody that we've met and came in contact with so far offers you a job.
That kind of did happen. Right?
That's a thing. That's a thing. Yeah.
That can happen. Now everybody wants to see the goat. So here's what we have prepared for everybody who's coming to the NIADA Convention and Expo. It's happening June 23rd to the 26th in Las Vegas at the Fontainebleau Hotel. We are going to be there. We're going to be there in the exhibit hall. We have a booth set up where we're going to be recording a live podcast. And anybody who comes up to us, we can record content with you so you can put it on your account, draw eyeballs because the goat is right there with you. So I just suggest, first of all, I'm very excited about this, but I just suggest that if you are going to the conference, stop by our booth as early as possible because we do expect there to be a line out the door of people wanting to create content with the goat. So come early.
Yeah.
Right?
Seriously? You did it again.
Seriously?
You did it again.
Seriously?
You did it again. Yeah.
That's what she said. Okay. Yeah.
No, that's not what she said. That is not what she said.
That is the opposite of what she said.
Yeah, that's not what she said.
I am just saying, we're going to an NIADA conference. Everybody should join us there. The links are below. If you actually go to goatforreal216.com/NIADA, that will take you straight to the registration page. And if you make it there, stop by our booth, record content with us, come, and maybe you'll even be featured on the podcast. We're going to be there ready to be recording a podcast live. We're going to have way more information about all the things we're going to be doing in our booth through our social media accounts. So make sure that you're following Goat for Real Media on TikTok and on Instagram. That's where we're going to be putting all of that information.
It's going to get crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm scared. It's going to get nuts.
It's going to be amazing.
It could get crazy.
And I can't wait to go to Vegas. It's been a while.
Yeah, Vegas. Yeah, we're doing it. And I'm super stoked about it. So I can't wait. And yeah, let's talk to Jeff.
All right, let's go to our interview. That's it. Let's start the podcast.
Here we come, Jeff.
Let's go.
I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. Sky Blue is the oldest credit repair company in the country. They have 4.5-star reviews, and my favorite part about the company is that these are just genuinely good people who want to help you repair your credit, have a better financial life in future. Everybody at Sky Blue that you talk to is absolutely interested in helping you repair your credit, see your score go up, and have you enjoy financial freedom and be able to live the life that you really deserve. I know about all of the other credit repair companies. Sky Blue Credit Repair, in my opinion, is the #1 credit repair company in the country. There are not better people in that industry than the people over at Sky Blue Credit. Links in the bio. Tell them the GOAT sent you.
Okay, I want to talk more about Vegas. I am so excited about this conference. So, can you tell people what are they going to find at the conference that they may not see anywhere else? Like, what conversations are going to be had there that they're going to want to be a part of?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so we have kind of the traditional, what I would call breakout sessions, and so we have 5 different tracks. So whether you're buy here, pay here, your retail, we have tracks for management, we have tracks for marketing, and we have tracks for compliance. And then outside of that, we have a program called Dealer Rounds. We have 15 different topics where you'll have about 10 to 12 dealers who will be in a round table. We have a moderator that is an actual dealer, and they'll moderate a conversation on a multitude of different topics. You get to select the table that you want to go sit at and the topic that you want to discuss. And Ina, I always kind of say it's like forced to network, right? Mm-hmm. Some of the most valuable information that you're going to get at a convention like this is standing in the hallway and talking to yourself or Shawn, or you get to talk to a dealer that, maybe you've kind of idolized for a couple of years and you want to grow to be the size of that dealer. And you get those opportunities, but sometimes dealers are a little bit hesitant to just walk up and talk to someone who's been in business for a long time. But these dealer rounds give you that opportunity because, as I mentioned earlier, we kind of call it forced networking. Every time we do something like this at a convention, when we do the surveys afterwards, they always that stands out as one of the best experiences for our dealers. It's just to have that opportunity to visit with dealers and specifically about things in the industry. And then outside of that, we'll have over 170 different vendors in our expo. It's the largest. This is the largest convention for independent automobile dealers in the country, and this will be the largest expo. And I always tell our dealers, it's a big expo. Have a game plan. Make sure that you know who you want to go visit with. Make sure that you get those meetings set up. And the part of the kind of the reason or the rationale that we have that expo is there's a lot of experts in there. They know a lot about the industry. They have products and services to help you be successful. So, if I'm attending a convention, I know, number one, I'm going to have a game plan. I know that I'm going to make sure that I hit the 10 to 12 people that I have to see. But then there are things that I don't even know that exist in the industry. And if I get an opportunity to walk up and down that expo, I'm going to be grabbing business cards. I'm going to be chatting with those vendors about what do you do? What do you provide? How can you help me at my dealership? And so I would say those are the 3 kind of primary things that you're going to get out of this convention. Unbelievable amount of education, unbelievable opportunities to network, and then the chance to visit with vendors who offer products and services that you may not even know exist.
Yeah. I was looking at the list of vendors. I was looking at the floor plan thing, and I was like, what do they do? Because as an industry veteran, you kind of think that you've heard of everybody and everything. It's coming so fast now. Like, I've never seen Jeff, you can correct me. I've never seen it come in waves of different verticals with different vendors, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a thing now. Holy cow, who are the vendors in there? I mean, it's just like it really, in my opinion, it's like hyperspeed.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I think I think it's been said numerous times. Like a lot of the things that were probably going to happen in this industry eventually really sped up kind of during COVID,
Yeah,
and so. But man, you're seeing change happen really fast in this industry right now,
Yes.
and that creates a lot of some challenges. But man, it creates a lot of opportunities. A
it's
lot of
exciting.
opportunities.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll share with you too. So we'll have about 700 dealers at the event. We're right now we're on pace to have about 740 dealers at the event, and about 200 of those will be first time attendees. And I tell people all the time, like the energy that you get from first time attendees, they just kind of are walking around with their eyes wide open, and they're just a sponge for all the education, a sponge for the networking, a sponge. They create an energy in that expo that you just can't get from a more veteran dealer, who's kind of to your point, Shawn. They've been there, seen it, done it,
right.
but they play a really important role too because they're willing to share. They're willing to share their experiences, and
Yeah,
so those first-time dealers or those first-time attendees are really eating that up.
Yeah.
yeah.
What do you think? I wonder if there's a story that you can share, something that stuck with you from past conferences that kind of makes you think like, this is why we do this year after year.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, it really does. It goes back to what I talked about earlier. It's the networking, and so when a dealer makes a connection, and I hear these stories all the time, but particularly a newer dealer makes a connection with someone who maybe is a more experienced dealer, and that relationship goes far beyond the convention. They stay in touch with each other afterwards. I mean, this industry is unique, I think, in the way where one dealer will say, "Well, just come visit my dealership. Come see my dealership for a couple of days." And I see it all the time. There's actually a gentleman that's going to be doing a presentation out of Mississippi, and I don't know how many dealers he has a fantastic presentation. He has a really neat model. He's going to be doing his presentation on Thursday morning, and I don't know how many dealers he's hosted at his dealership after he's done his presentation, and you see that time and time again. So to me, like those are the great stories, right?
yeah,
Whereas someone now they've developed, it goes way beyond a business relationship. I mean, they're friends and they're sharing ideas with each other, and I think those are the best stories.
yeah. Yeah, that is good stuff.
Who is coming this year that you're so personally excited to see them there?
Wow. That I'm personally excited to see them there. Gosh, that I don't know that I could, if I started mentioning names here, Ina, that would I would
Right, you
leave
can't.
somebody out. I mean, obviously if you're setting me up for the keynote speaker, certainly we're excited about Joe Theismann being there.
Right.
And I think we've got a lot of dealers. He's got such a great story of resilience and overcoming,
Wow.
some significant obstacles in his life. And we've got a number of dealers who I think we're going through a little bit of a challenge in the industry as well. And so I think that he's just going to have a story that's going to resonate very well with our dealers. But look, at the end of the day, I'm most excited about the dealers that are going to be there.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
all of them.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I wonder. So Jeff, what is your biggest, or what has been your biggest challenge that you've overcome, or that you're working on overcoming as the point guy, right, of an association this size? What's your biggest challenge?
I think the biggest challenge is always what we talked about earlier, is like creating that unity, kind of getting it, because, I mentioned earlier, independent, that these guys, that's a point of pride for them, right? Is independent. So they're independent thinkers. They have great ideas, but all those ideas don't always match. And so part of our responsibility is making sure that we create that platform to give all of our members, and not just our dealers, but our associate members. We have about 2,000 of our members make up people that are in the industry, but they're not dealers. And to
Right.
make sure that we're representing all of those interests, and that unity that we talked about earlier, that's where the strength comes from, right?
Yeah.
Associations that can band together. And so when you have um, when you have people that don't necessarily see things 100% eye to eye to find that commonality and go, but we can all agree on this, right? Like those are the challenges, and that's not unique to NIADA. Every association has those challenges, but that to me, that's part of the thing that wakes me up in the morning and gets me excited. It's like, how do we find a way to move forward? It's kind of a little mini democracy at its best, right? Let's find the common ground and get some wins in that area.
Okay. Good. This is gonna be kind of like a really like big vision kind of question, just to kind of pick your brain on what you see, right? Like, could you make a bold prediction that about the future of the used car industry? Is there something that you clearly see because you are there? You're hanging out with thousands of independent dealerships all the time. Is there a trend that you're willing to call out right now? It's like, this is where I think this is going.
So I'll say this. In the last 2 years, used car dealers have sold more used cars than franchise dealers. It was like 16. It was like in the last 16 years that had not happened.
Right.
Well,
and so I don't know how much of a bold prediction this is, but it's probably about as bold as I can get. Is that's going to continue?
Yeah.
And as our industry and as our dealers find ways to compete in this market, used car dealers will continue to outsell everyone else when it comes to selling used cars. And part of it is that our industry is getting better at that. We're starting to recognize who the consumer is a little bit better. We're finding how to get that consumer in. And then at the end of the day, we're making sure that we take care of that consumer. So I think that trend will continue. And that's something that's really exciting in this industry, is to know that, we've seen a number of people over the last couple of years who decided to step away from the industry for whatever reason, because there were so many changes. But those changes also bring a number of people into the industry because they see that as opportunities. And so those are things that I'm excited about. I don't know how much of a bold prediction that is, but I think that trend will continue.
No, that's a great point. And not to cut you off, but I want to touch on that because I have a theory on that. Because I had this conversation with a franchise dealer who owns five stores, and we're sitting there talking about it, and he's talking about an independent guy who keeps eating his lunch in his area for one of his stores. And this independent guy just keeps eating his lunch. He's like, that guy sells 70 cars a month. I can't get over, I said, and I believe this, and I believe that organic social media, Jeff, has played a bigger part in that than people will ever think to realize. And I'll tell you why. Because if you think about it, you've got the franchise store, right? And he's got, corporate rules and a manufacturer to think about and everything, and just the time constraints on the people and everything. So they might make some content, you know what I mean? But this guy, the independent, he can make real raw content that's personal, that resonates. He's the guy that when they show up, he's the guy that they're going to buy the car from. He's the guy making the content. So it's almost like a referral to that customer. They found him on social, organic social, and because that guy posts more and he posts more raw, resonating type content, I believe that organic social has. I believe you're right. It's never going back because franchises will never have the fluidity and be able to pivot like they can and post on social to draw those customers in. As an independent guy, he's his boss. He can post what he wants about what he wants, and I think social is so powerful, but I think that you're right, it's never going back, and I think that's at least a small part of why, because the reach with organic social with these independents, it's changed some of these guys' lives and kept them in business.
Yeah, no,
So
I think you're exactly right. You used the term pivot earlier. That is one of the things in the independent space that you can change your inventory almost overnight, and and others don't have the flexibility to be able to do that. And I think on the social media, there's no doubt. We talked about just the number of applications that we received this year on applications to speak at the convention, and it touched on some part of AI. I can remember, I'm going to show my age here, but I can remember, when people were talking about building their first website, or they were talking about becoming active on Facebook. And then there was Facebook Marketplace. Those were kind of the exciting things, but they were exciting because it gave you an opportunity to compete that you probably didn't have in the past. And really what you were able to do is you were able to compete on that cell phone that you have, right? You can get on there and you can look at various platforms that offer vehicles for sale, and independents can compete in those spaces. And I think prior to that, it was a little bit more of a challenge.
Yeah.
I love that. Thank you for touching on the social. We haven't, we talk about social media all the time for dealerships. We didn't even touch on that. So
I'm
thank you
going
so
to
much for
stick it
sharing
in there
that.
when I get a chance. And we're going
I'm
to talk about it.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. I do want you to do me a favor, and I want you to speak to consumers for a second. What do you think is the biggest misconception that consumers have about independent used car stores? And can you help us dispel it?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. It's that a dealer is looking to take advantage of a consumer, right? And I actually laugh. I tell this story with my own family all the time. I didn't grow up in the independent automobile space. I'm an association guy through and through. I represented school teachers before I represented independent automobile dealers. And so when I was telling my friends and particularly my family, that I was transitioning to this new association and this is what we do and we represent, used car dealers. Of course, I would say independent dealers, and no one knew what that was. And so I had to say, well, I represent used car dealers. And like, oh my gosh, you're going to represent used car dealers? You got to be kidding me, And then, but they would always follow it up with, but I mean, like, I know a guy, I have a friend. There's somebody in our town. I mean, they're good as gold. Like we bought all of our cars from him or from her.
Yeah.
So like, that's the story that they would end up telling after they would, roll their eyes and tell me, kind of what they thought about the perception of used car dealers. And so I got to a point where I would say, the story that you just told me, there's thousands of dealers out there, just like the one guy that you know. And you know what is? It's not one guy. It's thousands and thousands and thousands of dealers that are out there. So the misconception is that, every dealer is out there, looking to take advantage of a dealer or take advantage of a consumer. And, we've talked about this, numerous times. They're not. They're looking to make, like, if they want you to go tell their friends to come purchase a vehicle from them, or to go tell their family, or to come back in 4 years or 5 years and purchase another vehicle from them, you better be taken care of. And so to me, I get it. I understand how that misconception is maybe becomes a part of the fabric of our society, because if you don't know the price of something when you're going in and you have that ability to be able to negotiate and haggle, then what ends up happening is you start wondering, did I get the best price I could get off of that vehicle? And so much of that is already gone, in our industry. And at the end of the day, that story that you hear of I guarantee you, well, you guys are in the business, but if you bring up used car dealer, someone's going to tell you they know this one guy that's a really good guy. There's more than one really good guy in this business. There's thousands of them in this business.
Good point.
Yeah, I love it that you said that, because that's a message that I want to keep propagating, because it's kind of a little bit unfair, right? That there is this there's this cloud
Stigma
over it, especially and it gets perpetuated, and there's even like a phrase about it, right? Like, and we are here working with people that we know personally who all they want is to help you get a good car, right? It's not a secret to anybody that this is a business, that there will be a profit, right? Like it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody that there should be something in it for the dealer in order to stay in business and continue to sell cars, that yes, they need to be making money on these cars. That's just how business works. It's not a charity. It's not a volunteer activity. This is also a business. So as long as we can continue to talk about and give a megaphone about those people that we know that they're all in it for this. I work with a dealership right now that they do so much charity work. They're doing so many things inside the community because they like to give back. This is all they do all day long. So it's kind of like an unfair veil that everybody gets, put on. So thank you for saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've got to continue to be advocates for the industry. It's a fantastic industry to be in, and it's made up of a lot of really, really professional, kind of good-hearted men and women who want to be a part of their community.
Yep.
Yeah. So thank you so much for doing this, for talking to us. And I know Shawn always has a question at the end that he loves for everybody to answer.
Oh, I get to I got my going. Well, it just says so much about people. I love getting inside. You know what I mean? I'm like an inside guy. So so if you could have dinner, three people, alive or unalive, one dinner, you and these three people, other than me, who's there?
Man, that is an interesting question. I mean, so I will tell you that I'm at an age now where I have adult children who do not they don't live with us, and they live about 2 hours away. And it's a little bit of a throwaway answer, but I'll tell you the dinners that I enjoy the most are with my wife, and I have two daughters. One of them is married, so I'll let her bring her husband, who we love him as much as we love our daughters. It'd be with my family for me.
Did you watch the Chris Haas episode when I interviewed him? You know who Chris is from
Yeah,
Ohio, independent.
yeah.
He said I had the same answer, and I'm like, did Jeff take his answer? He said the same thing. But I love that answer, so we're gonna let you roll with it. And before Ina says goodbye, I want to make sure that I say, Jeff, you're an exceptional representative of that association. I mean, you represent that association in a way that is confidence instilling. Just in the little time that I've personally known you, you're an amazing representative and leader, and I love your culture centric outlook on everything that you do, from your employees to the dealers. It's amazing. It's a testament.
Well, thank you, Shawn. I appreciate it. We've got a fantastic team here, and we've got leaders that are elected to run this association. And frankly, it's a lot of fun representing people that care as much as these people do care about their businesses and about their customers. So I appreciate you saying that, but I'll tell you, we got a really good team.
Yeah.
And really, thank you so much for being so open and helping us understand a lot of these things going on in the industry. And can you please tell everybody, where is the conference, when is it, and how to go sign up?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. Yeah, June 23rd through the 26th. So it's right around the corner. It's in Las Vegas. It's going to be at the Fountain Blue. That's the newest property out on the Strip. If you haven't been to the Fountain Blue, it's fantastic.
Awesome.
The easiest way to sign up is go to www.niada.convention and get registered. It's only $745 to join. And I think through today, well, I'm not exactly sure when this is going to be aired, so I probably shouldn't say through today. But it's $745 for a member to register for the convention, which, kind of to your point, Shawn, that's pennies on the dollar for what you're going to get out of an event like this.
Yeah.
Yep,
Amazing.
register for the convention, and I'd love to see you there.
And we're going to put the information below. We're also going to be there to come and see us. We are a big draw, right?
That's the reason you know. Joe who? I mean,
right? Come see the goat. That's really what you want to do anyway.
Exactly, Ina and Shawn.
I have a feeling the dealers are going to like you better than me, Ina. I have a feeling that you're going to be more popular than me.
Well, I'm definitely going for that. So it's intentional. So thank you so much, Jeff. This has been wonderful.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me, and thanks for everything that you guys do, getting the message out in the industry. Thank you.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you soon. See you in Vegas.
See you in Vegas.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right. Thank you. I'd like to take a minute to thank our sponsor, Sky Blue Credit Repair. Sky Blue is the oldest credit repair company in the country. They have 4.5-star reviews, and my favorite part about the company is that these are just genuinely good people who want to help you repair your credit, have a better financial life in future. Everybody at Sky Blue that you talk to is absolutely interested in helping you repair your credit, see your score go up, and have you enjoy financial freedom and be able to live the life that you really deserve. I know about all of the other credit repair companies. Sky Blue Credit Repair, in my opinion, is the #1 credit repair company in the country. There are not better people in that industry than the people over at Sky Blue Credit. Links in the bio. Tell them the GOAT sent you.